Today I'm going to talk about why are so many students stuck at band 6 in IELTS writing. And if you're one of them, watch this video until the end. Let's take a look at a task 2 example. Some people think that technology has made our lives more complicated rather than easier. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Here you see a band 6 example. For the sake of time, I only focus on the introduction part. Some people think that technology has made our lives easier, while others believe that it has made life more complicated. This essay will discuss both views and explain why I think technology has made life easier overall. Take a moment for yourself and try to guess why you think it doesn't get higher than band 6. For convenience, I use the pronoun he when referring to the candidate. Let's break it down. The first criterion that an examiner looks at is task response. Did the candidate answer the question? The answer is partially. Why is it so? Here, the candidate is under impression that this is a discussion essay, whereas in reality, this is an opinion essay. In discussion essay, the candidate should discuss two opposite viewpoints and give equal weight to both sides of an argument. And finally, decide which side he wants to take. In opinion essay, on the other hand, the candidate should focus mainly on his argument and try to focus on his side rather than the opposite viewpoint, and only briefly discuss the opposite viewpoint. So here's a confusion between the two types of essays. So that's the negative point. The positive point, however, is that the candidate clarifies his position here. I think technology has made life easier overall. So that's why we say the candidate answered the task partially. So be careful. Task response is very important part. And you should make sure that you answer the task directly. Next criterion is coherence and cohesion. Did the candidate's answer follow a logical order and progress smoothly? The answer is yes, but somehow it sounds mechanical. Why is it so? You see here a number of phrases. Some people think that, while others believe that. This essay will discuss both views. These are very common phrases and routine that many candidates use in their writings. They sound cliche and boring and unoriginal. So the candidate should avoid using these generic and mechanical phrases that everybody else uses. Try to be original. Try to use unique words and phrases in linking your ideas together. Next criterion is lexical resource. How was vocabulary used? Here you see obviously the candidate repeated words from the question. Some people think that technology has made our lives easier. This is a repetition of the first part of the sentence, the question. And if you use those repeated words, it shows that you have limited lexical resource. So try to use a variety of words to show that you have capability to use a wide range of words and phrases. The other issue is that the candidate here uses generic words, things like easier, more complicated, overall. These are usually used by many candidates. Try to use instead unique and rare words, that not so many candidates use them. And final criterion is grammatical range and accuracy. Did the candidate use a variety of grammatical structures accurately? To some degree, not quite. And the reason is because the two sentences here both uses complex structure. The first one is using while, and the second one is reasoning, why I think. Both are complex structures. And it's nice that the candidate uses complex structure, but it's not enough. The candidate should have used more variety in their grammatical structures. Luckily, or the positive point is that grammar part is not you cannot find any mistake grammatically here. That's a positive point. So as you can see, there is no major grammar mistake here, but still got band 6. Now compared with the band 7 answer. Here is an example. Although technology is designed to simplify daily tasks, it has also introduced new forms of complexity, particularly in terms of information overload and digital dependency. I partly agree that modern life has become more complicated as a result. Now let's break it down. Task response. Did the candidate answer the question? Yes, here there is no confusion between discussion essay and opinion essay. The first part of the paragraph, the candidate actually clearly indicates that he understood the task. Talks about technology simplifying daily tasks while also introducing new forms of complexity, and extends his answer with particularly. So that's kind of examples. And finally, in the last part of the paragraph, again expresses his opinion. I partly agree that modern life has become more complicated as a result. So task response is achieved. Next criterion is coherence and cohesion. Did the candidate's answer follow a logical order and progress smoothly? Yes. You see here, although structure, first part of this sentence, then second part, which is somehow contradictory to the first part, because the candidate uses although, so those parts should be often opposite to each other, and extends his viewpoint with examples using particularly. And finally, he expresses his opinion. So all of these structures show that this paragraph reads naturally and smoothly. Next criterion is lexical resource. How was vocabulary used? First of all, there is no repetition of the question. So here you see a different kinds of wording. Different kind of wording. Second, the wording is precise and topic specific. So the phrases that you can see here are topic specific ones. Things like simplify daily tasks, information overload, digital dependency. So these are highly specific phrases used in this context. So that's why it gets band 7. Finally, grammatical range and accuracy. Did the candidate use a variety of grammatical structures accurately? Yes. Here, the first sentence is a complex structure. The second sentence is also a complex structure. But other than that, you see a passive voice here, although technology is designed. In addition, the candidate uses commas here and here, and those commas shows that the candidate has great competence in using punctuations properly. So these are positive points showing that the candidate has a good ability to use different grammatical structures. So when you compare these two answers, you see that writing criteria consists of 4 parts. And in 4 parts, band 6 gets roughly 6 and band 7 gets 7. And overall, the band 6, 6 and band 7 gets 7. So we realize that to reach band 7, you don't just need accurate grammar. You also need a direct answer. You should answer the question directly. Also, you need a range of structures, grammatical structures. In addition, you need a variety of topic-specific vocabulary. And finally, you need to have clear ideas that connect logically and naturally. So if you're stuck at band 6 in writing, start improving these 4 key areas today. And finally, subscribe to this channel if you want to break the band 7 barrier. Thank you for watching.